Oh, I'm so tiny. Look how tiny I am. I don't know what's going on. Hey, friends. Happy Saturday. Welcome back in. This is John's Comics with Friends and my Saturday morning show, Saturday Morning Comics. This is the show I do intermittently when I'm not doing interviews with the community on Saturday mornings. But today is an early soccer big game today. And so I decided I would go a little bit earlier than normal and get a lot of things done because there's so many things to do, so many exciting things to talk about, and I didn't want to miss out on any of it. So yeah, we're about an hour earlier than I normally go live. So we'll see who makes it to join us today. But thank you to those of you that are up early, hanging out with us, watching on the replay, who have the notification bell hit. That's a biggie, because if you hit that bell, what happens is when you go into YouTube, up in the corner, there's that little bell and it'll have a little red number. It'll give you the notifications that you want. So any channel that you want to make sure they go live and you want to know, or they drop a video and you want to know, that's what you do. You go click that little bell and you can select the notifications to be silent, none, or all, or some variation in between if you want. So thank you to those of you that have us clicked and are ready to hear us. So let's see what we got. We have a tailgater this morning. Of course, my man, Ruben Guzman. Shout out to you, Ruby G, because he donated a bunch of books as a gift to me, and I, with his consent, donated a bunch of them to Comics Curing Cancer, and they all got sent out. So he helped contribute to last weekend's shenanigans and the amazing, just absolute record-setting number that they collected. Record in the sense, I guess, that they beat their goal. I don't know if it actually is a record across all of the years they've done this, but it seemed pretty darn close, which kind of blew my mind a little bit. So thank you, Ruben, for doing that, man. Someone is up early on the West Coast. What's up, JP? I'm still waiting to hear. JP won last month's giveaway. I'm going to spin for this month's giveaway, or technically October's giveaway. So JP still needs to pick the books he wants me to send him, because I don't think he told me yet. Because I got the variants set aside, but he's going to pick some fun trade paperbacks, because every month channel members get a chance to win a bunch of cool variants. This month, one of the variants I'm giving away is the two of them. So I'm giving one of these away, and I'm also giving away the two issues where Wolverine gets his adamantium ripped out. I'm gonna give away both of those. So I got a little X-Men set of books I'm giving away. Plus, again, they get to dive into the trade paperbacks and pick something out. So somebody's gonna win that today. Could be this guy, Coach Vic. What is going on, my friend? Yeah, I saw him in the chats supporting and sharing last weekend. It was amazing. Appreciate you, Vic, as always. And we got Bleeker, the Reverend, in the chat. And I know he was hosting shows on his normal Sunday show as part of Comics Curing Cancer. So I appreciate you, Reverend, for doing the good work as always. We got our friend Wellbore in the chat. What's going on, Wellbore? Good to see you, my friend. Talking about channel supporter. Saw him all across YouTube last weekend. And what I wanted to ask, Reverend, if you're still in the chat, can you give us an update on where your Kickstarter is as far as the, I think it's called Murder Street Murder something? I'm sorry, I forgot the name, but I'm going to contribute to the Kickstarter when it goes live. I know right now it's a notification only. Can you update us? I know you had said sometime in November, December, possibly this would go live. So I just want an update. Tell Charlie good luck with her soccer game. Thank you. I will. Definitely happy to talk soccer. Last weekend, for those that have followed Charlie's soccer excitement, she is on she's a member of a club team, but they have, teams at different age groups. So technically she is a 2010 team age group, and she's the goalie for that group. And they are playing their final game to clinch first place today. Last weekend, she joined the 2007s team. So that's the girls that are basically seniors in high school, and Charlie's a freshman. So she played with them, and they clinched first place with her as goalie as well. So she has the potential to have clinched first place as a goalie for two of their club teams, which is pretty awesome. So very excited for that. Got another awesome John in the chat. What's going on? JSS? Yes, little housekeeping. Hit that like button. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you better get on it, JP. Seriously, man. No, I got to ship out a couple of things anyways. So I can ship out JP's winnings, and whoever wins today, ship out a few different things. Murder King. God dang it, I'm such an idiot. February. Okay, update then. For those of you looking for community art comic books, people that are creating their own projects, kickstarting. If you're a Kickstarter fan, keep those eyes out for Murder King in February. And of course, I will be sharing it. I might even get the Reverend to come on and talk a little bit about it, because he and my man Cali Comics, John, who I'm a very big fan of as well, are working together, as I understand it. So those are two classy individuals right there. I would be happy to have them on to talk a little bit about the details when it comes around. So you let me know, buddy. You let me know. And there's the link. I appreciate you, JSS. So this, if you want to have that going live notification for the Kickstarter for Murder Kings, boom, there it is. I appreciate you, JSS, for hunting that down. Thank you for taking the time. Sounds like a future Notre Dame goalie. She wants to experience snow, right? There it is. Here's the thing, though. My girls love to ski. I don't know how they would feel about having to live in snow for an entire winter every year, but they do enjoy going and traveling to it for a couple of weeks and then coming home. So, but they spend most of that time having people cook, hot soup and hot chocolate for them, and then skiing all day. So it's not really like living in it where you got to go to work and you got to go to school or whatever. So we'll see how she feels. Happy to support, my friend. Happy to contribute to the success of the project, because I'm sure it'll be a banger. So what are we doing today? I'm going to spin the wheel here at the beginning, right off the bat. So let's do this. These are the folks in the category that is known on my channel as the New Mutants. So here's that name. Here's that list. So these folks, for every 5 people in the New Mutants, I spin the wheel 1 time. So there are 10 of them. So we're spinning the wheel twice. So that means 2 of those names that you saw right there, they're coming off that list and going on the big wheel. So let's shuffle that. Let's see here. Where's the shuffle? It is 1, 2, 3 times. I'm going to spin it and see who we get. The last time we got Drew Manchu and Dio Wolf. Let's see who we got this time. Fable. He is officially on the big wheel. I'll shuffle this 3 more times. Spin it again. We got Fable and we got Drew Manchu again. Add those 2 folks to the big wheel. Drew, whoa, and Fable. So later in the show, I'll spin the big wheel, give away the X-Men prizes, and then let them get another chance to choose what they want. So 2 more folks on the big wheel. It's a trap. Snow looks pretty in the movies. Don't fall for it. Yeah, I don't know if I was made for that kind of weather. I'm a temperate. I grew up in Southern California. I'm used to temperate weather. When it's 55 degrees outside, I'm like, this is cold. I don't like it. And that's kind of what it is right now. I'm going to sit in here with my coffee and relax. Get the day started. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about next month's giveaway, because here we go. We are officially in November, and I'm going to give away an entire set of Spider-Man Life Story. Shout out again to my man Ruben Guzman. He had 2 through 6, and I went and hunted another issue number 1. So I have a full set. I'm going to give away an entire set of Spider-Man Life Story, plus, as always, a little dive into the trade paperbacks. So channel members next month, that's what you have to look forward to. I'm going to set that aside, bookmark it, and make sure that that gets out. So at the start of December, one of my Saturday shows, I'll spin the wheels for those things, and we'll see who wins them. I've also got books that I've been reading this month. Or I should say, I keep saying this month, but technically it was October. I'm going to be talking about this on Wednesday with my man, JP Budget Collecting. This is the Hawkeye Age by Matt Fraction storyline. So this is just a classic, obviously a chunk of the television series based on this book. So it's going to be a fun one to talk about. And then I'm working my way through Starman's Compendium Volume 1. As you can see, I'm only a handful of issues in, probably 4 or 3. So I've been working my way through Starman by James Robinson. I heard great things from people like Cliff on Comics. So I've been diving into that. My hope is to get really far into it this weekend. Besides the one soccer game, it's pretty open. My weekend is kind of nice and relaxing. So I will be planning to read a bunch more on Starman, and I'll talk a little bit about that at some point. Apologies to Cliff and Izzy, because I know they're going live right now. We're overlapping a little. I'm not usually running at the same time as them. So apologies, gentlemen. But you guys can dual stream. Enjoy both. You want a want that New York flavor? You want that East Coast versus West Coast wrap? Whatever you like. I'm also going to be unboxing this morning. One of the first things I bought during Comics Curing Cancer was a mystery box on that first Friday morning from our man Mark of Legion of Comics, one of the big three homies behind Comics Curing Cancer. Rob's Fat Stacks, DJ Links, and Mark from Legion of Comics. Those three gentlemen really put this show on. They really make this thing happen. And I could throw Austin LeMay in there as well, standing there holding the timer. He did his work as well. But Mark had a handful. I'm gonna sneeze. Mark had a handful of mystery boxes, and I bought one. I have no clue what's in it. I know one of the prizes is absolutely crazy. He was claiming that they start at about $100 in value and then go up from there to as much as $300 or $400 for the big prize. But I think I spent like $70 on this box. So I'm definitely making my money either way. Excited to kind of see what's in it. Good morning to Digger Jim. I've been catching him a lot lately on the 1011. Hung out with him just the other night. Good to see you. Happy Saturday, sir. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to unbox this because I'm just very, very curious as to what's in it. So let's tear it open here. All righty. Okay. All right, got that out of there. Okay, you can see the Comics Curing Cancer sticker there. I'll see if I still got anything that you need, JP, but odds are good because there's a ton of stuff, right? All right. Ooh, I see a slab is in here. I'm trying not to peek at it. All right, trying not to peek. All right. All right, I can feel the slab, so I'm going to set the slab aside so I don't look at it. And then he's got some books here, and they're taped in little clumps. So I'll try to get the painter's tape off. Looks like they may have separated in travel. Geeking out with Roscoe's in the chat. What's going on, Roscoe? Good to see you. Thank you for all that you did last weekend on Comics Curing Cancer. He was obviously contributing time and money and artwork and you name it. The gentleman was busy. And I appreciate him taking that time and putting in that effort. So thank you, my friend. I don't think I won any Roscoe stuff this year. Usually I get a few pieces or I try, but I didn't come out winning this year. So womp womp. All right, so let's see here. This first one is a 1 of 600. Ooh, a Marvel Zombies Deadpool and looks like the Hulk. That is cool. This is a, let's see, Clayton Crane Marvel Zombies Resurrection Virgin variant. Look at that. Oh, and it's got a signature. It's got the rain. This is my first rainbow signature, gang. I don't have a rainbow signature book. That is dope. That is pretty badass. I got to decide if I keep that or if I give that away to channel members at some point because that is a gorgeous looking signature. As always, Clayton Crane coming in strong. Oop, this one has a Legion of Comics sticker inside, so I'm going to take that out because I don't think I have a Legion of. Actually, it's one of the combo stickers, Legion and DJ Links. So I don't think I have one of these. So I'm going to hold on to that because I need that for the collection. But let's see what comic it was on. What in the world? I don't even know what this is. Look at that. That is wild. Let's find out what book it is. Oh, it's his exclusive. Because this is it's got their sticker and their info on the back. Hail Crow, King of Hell. Never heard of that. What a cover. Holy cow. I think I remember them doing this fundraiser for it. I need new tape. Darn tape. No good. I'm gonna get some of my rusty blue painter's tape here. That is a wild cover, right, JP? I agree. And it looks like Digger Jim, he knew it. He knew what it was. Canadian Survivalist in the chat. What's going on, sir? Good to see you, my friend. Just retaping that, giving it the old blue painter's tape treatment here that I do at the house. So there you go. Hail Crow. Look at that cover, though. It's like Tim Burton on crack. That is wild. and it's an official Legion and Lynx cover. So that one might be a cool one to add to the collection. First full Aunt Petunia. I don't know who Aunt Petunia is, but there you go. A Fantastic Four 10-speed racer variant. This is issue 239. What is going on, Stu? Good to see you, my friend. Drew Manchu, you made it on the big wheel, so we're going to spin the big wheel later today. We'll see if you win the big prize this month. But that's a cool book. Let's see here. 60-cent DC, Marvel Fantastic Four. That is wild. Okay, and I don't know who Aunt Petunia is. It's the Thing's aunt. Okay, all right. I'm a bit of a Fantastic Four moron. I'm very limited in that arena. Ooh, look at that. That's a great cover. Aquaman and Mira. That is a great cover. Wow. Justice League of America 242 with Amazo spoiling everybody's fun. But I love that Aquaman and Mira cover. May have to add that to my Aquaman box. I live for spinning wheels. There you go, buddy. I don't know if that's a key. It doesn't have any information on the back, so it's hard to know. Okay, I'm going to flip the stack over so I can keep going here. Obi-Wan Kenobi variant. Look at that. I had that toy, man. I legit had probably two of them. Between me and my brothers, we probably had it a couple of times over. That's funny. Oh, man. Yeah, I definitely had that one. Okay, whoop. Some of these are upside down, so I got to keep flipping the stack over. I just spoiled myself here. Oh, a whole set of the Death of Doctor Strange, which I think I actually have this set, so I may have to give this one away as well. But the covers are so great, man. This is a wild ride. Jed McKay, definitely a very entertaining storyline if you haven't read it. Like the Ghost of Doctor Strange, it's like a murder mystery. He's got to solve his own murder. That's kind of cool. What's up, Brucifer? Good to see you, my friend. Happy Saturday, sir. And then the whole storyline, Predator Cold War from Dark Horse, which I don't think I've read that story. Any Predator fans? I know Mark is a big Predator fan, so he got all 4 issues for me here. May need to check that one out and read that one. And the last Raw comic is a Crow variant. Look at that. That's a cool cover, man. Let's see if I can get some information on it. It's got the Comics Curing Cancer sticker as the I'll ruin the sticker. I don't want to ruin the sticker. So I'm going to leave that on there. But that is definitely the Crow. He's even got the crow on his shoulder. That's a cool variant. That's a cool cover. Okay. And then the slab is right here. It's like this box was made for me because I'm very excited about this, gang, because I believe, I don't know what issue it is, but I can see the back cover and it told me exactly what I needed to know. Bonk. Oh, the final issue of Die. And I don't have this one in a 9/8. I mean, that book is an all black cover, so that's an awesome one to get in a 9/8. And you know how they color rub these days, so that is fantastic. Gang, this book is meant for me because I am keeping this sucker for sure. I've got, I think, 2 or 3 copies of issue 1 slabbed plus raw and everything else. I love this series. I'm very excited for it to return. So this was the right box for me to win. This was box number 4 in the mystery boxes. Oops. Sorry, I got stuff all around me here. But that is a banger. That is going in the PC for sure. Thank you, Mark from Legion of Comics, hooking me up and helping to fight cancer all at the same time. He's just that kind of guy, gang. He's just that kind of guy. So yeah, thank you. And shout out to Mark. You might see some of these unboxings. I know his dad, right after that first live stream, his dad went and got all those boxes shipped out. So it arrived very quickly before any of my Comics Curing Cancer winnings. I had that mystery box here at the house and I was like, well, I got to open it. So let's do it on Saturday. So I know a lot of those boxes are floating around, which means the big prize, the $300 prize, still floating around out there somewhere. Somebody's going to open up something special this week. Very exciting for that person. Very exciting. Let's see. What have we been watching? Last night, my girls are now of an age where Halloween isn't really a, hey, can you walk me around the neighborhood and we go trick-or-treating? That's not a thing anymore. That's not a thing. I've got 2 high schoolers, 2 teenagers, right? And my oldest wanted to go to a party and then sleep over at her friend's house. So she was gone. She was out pretty early. And then Charlie went like 5 blocks away to her friend's house, and they did makeup and then watched scary movies. And then she came back here and cruised around the neighborhood, which meant wife and I basically had Halloween night to ourselves. And what do you do when you're 48 to 52 years old and you have Halloween night to yourself? You watch documentaries. That's what you do. You watch documentaries. That's what you do. My wife and I, she's not a big horror movie fan. So welcome to Deary with it. Not the call. That was not the call. So she wanted to watch Ben Stiller's documentary that he did for Apple Plus. It was called Stiller and Mira, and it was all about his parents and kind of how that working relationship and family life blended, or how it didn't, for he and his sister growing up. So it was a collection of the journey that his parents, Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira, went on in their relationship. I found it fascinating, and there's a ton of archival footage and a ton of recordings that he utilized to kind of tell the story. And then his kids and his wife, Christine Taylor, are in it as well. And it was a very interesting documentary. If you like Jerry Stiller, if you've seen him on Seinfeld as George's dad, if you like Ann Mira, she's a great actress and been in a lot of things. And maybe you didn't know how they got their start as the comedy improv duo Stiller and Mira. The Ed Sullivan Show being a huge part of that journey. It's an interesting documentary where you can kind of see the early days of how that's led to where Ben Stiller is, and obviously his work on his improv show that he did, and then his movies and Severance and things like that. A gentleman jumped in the chat that we've been talking about all morning, so I want to shout out to this guy, Legion of Comics Mark. I just unboxed the mystery box that I won from you, box number 4. I was the one who received this die slab, which is perfect for me because I love this series. It's the final issue. I do not have it slabbed, so it was the perfect box for me. It was meant to be here. I also got some nice Mark stickers with the DJ Link's other half there. I got some fun sets here. So if you didn't see that unboxing earlier, you can check it out. But thank you to Mark for that mystery box, and thank you to your dad for shipping that out so quickly. He was on fire with that. Let's see. My wife hates horror too. House with 2 kids and a wife who doesn't touch horror is a balancing act. I can just see Mark with his headphones in at like 2 a.m. trying to watch all this stuff because he keeps up, man. He keeps up on everything. Yes, a lot of people watching the World Series. I don't even know how the game went last night. I know that I thought Toronto had a slight edge over LA at this point, but I'm curious to see how the game went. I didn't even look. Watched a classic, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. My girls really want to watch that. Where were you finding it streaming, Jim? I'm very curious about that. We got Bronze Page Terry going on. What's going on? He says, hello, X-Files fans. He posts really great questions on his Instagram, asking for your favorite thises or that's. And he did one about your favorite supernatural television shows. And I was like, no, the only correct answer is X-Files. I'm an X-Files junkie. Absolutely love it. So definitely that would be my pick. And I found that show after it had finished, meaning they were not airing live episodes anymore. And my wife and I were in college and in our apartment together, and we got Netflix for the very first time. And Netflix was sending you DVDs in the mail. That's what was happening. And we plowed through the entire run of X-Files, start to finish, by just getting the discs in the mail. It was a lot of fun, and we bonded over it in a big way, and really enjoyed the Mulder and Scully back and forth. Even the later seasons, which are admittedly flawed, it was a lot of fun. So we definitely, that was a big journey for us, for sure. He says, that's great. That Hail Crow Bird Mask book is me and DJ's exclusive. That I figured that out when I saw your logo on the back. Me and Pops make an effective team. You really do. You really, really do. Okay, so it's tied up. Game 7 tonight. Oh, and the Dodgers forced Game 7. Is Game 7, though, is in Toronto? Am I correct? Like, I think it's back in Toronto. So I think slight edge maybe to the Blue Jays at this point. Wife bought the DVD of Rocky Horror. Yeah, my girls really want to see it. They like, oh my goodness, what is the lead actor, Tim Curry. They like Tim Curry a lot. Obviously, they've seen Clue, really enjoyed that. They've seen Legend, where he's the devil. They really like that. And they've seen clips of him as Frankenfurter, and they've never seen it. And he's just a great performer. He's, supremely talented. So they wanted to see that. Plus, it's got like a little, it comes across as quite risque, which it is. So they want to see that. The Sky Dome. Sounds like a science fiction film. So yeah, okay, good. Game 7 is on tonight. Dodgers are forcing them back. I'm assuming Shohei is probably going to be pitching tonight, starting at least, if not coming in and in relief. All right. So there we did the unboxing. Let's talk a little bit about, so I was talking about Stiller and Mira. So really great documentary. I think it's an hour and a half long, not terribly long. If you've got Apple Plus and you like Ben Stiller or you like his parents, I think it's a really interesting documentary that might really enlighten you on their journey, because their improv comedy duo thing was very original at the time, very different. And the way in which they prepared and performed and their connection to the Ed Sullivan Show, and then the impact it had on their family life was significant. And I think it was interesting to kind of see it all portrayed this way. And Mira being what everybody said was the superior performer, the superior actor, but Jerry Stiller being the fastidious preparer, the person who really needed to run the lines a million times and memorize his shtick so that it felt ready. And so and Anne would memorize her lines, of course, but then she was very much in the moment and was willing to like play to the audience and play to the laugh. And so they had this interesting dynamic as performers. So it was a very interesting documentary, again, called Stiller and Mira, Nothing is Lost. And it follows Ben Stiller and his sister going through getting their parents' apartment emptied out before having to sell it, because their parents have died, and they are doing their best to move on. And so they are going through their house, and their father recorded a ton of stuff and kept a bunch of audio tapes and videotapes of their lives as kids. So they are kind of going through it all and reflecting on their parents' relationship and the relationship they had with their parents and the relationship that the public had with their parents. Then Ben makes some interesting comments about how that makes him as a parent or a performer. Like, what did that do to him as a young man trying to make his mark, and then his relationship with his kids? So there's a very interesting discussion around performing artists and their family lives, I guess you could say it that way. We've got my man, Libro Paradiso. Miguel, what's going on? Happy Saturday to you. He's reminding me that tonight I'm going live to talk movies, and I know he and Coach Vic are two people that love the movie chats that Bearded Comic Bro and I do. So yeah, Bearded and I, and probably Mr. Gretzky, are going live tonight. And we're talking about Robert Redford, and we're talking about Diane Keaton, two cinema icons that we lost here in the last month. And we're going to kind of go decade by decade through their careers and kind of look at the amazing works that they did, the movies that they created that shaped the world, shaped our lives, right? BLC is in the chat. What's going on, BLC? Good to see you, my friend. So yeah, that's the documentary we watched last night. Again, very entertaining. We like Ben Stiller in this household a ton. I know Mark Legion of Comics, I heard him talking about Walter Mitty, the remake of the original that Ben Stiller did. Great movie. I mean, you can go Zoolander, you can go Tropic Thunder, you can go Cable Guy. I am a big fan. I liked Reality Bites a ton. I think Ben Stiller has always been avant-garde, interesting. I think his films are always very interesting, whether he's acting or whether he's acting, writing, directing, producing, what have you. I think Ben Stiller is a very interesting gentleman, and his films, I think, are provocative. They're more than just mindless entertainment. Although he does have his occasional dodgeballs that are just outright funny. No, not necessarily a deeper message, but he's also got, I think, some very thought-provoking, projects as well. And I recently caught up on Severance, so I'm all to the, wherever the new second season ended, I'm all caught up. So he's definitely a very thought-provoking kind of guy. JB says, "You better spend time on Sneakers tonight. Super underrated and maybe my favorite Redford film." It's funny because I was just watching it last night. After we finished the documentary, my wife took Charlie around to a few houses to trick or treat, and I threw Sneakers on. It's a great movie. We will absolutely be discussing it. No question. Scanners. Did I see Scanners? Have I seen that? Is that based on a Stephen King something? I can't remember. Tropic Thunder is absolutely my favorite, I think, Ben Stiller movie. It's just so superb, absolutely incredible. I love it. Yeah, Sneakers. Okay, good. I was worried. I was like, wait, Scanners? Scanners is a horror movie. I don't think Redford's in that, but okay. Yeah, Tropic Thunder is so funny. Everybody in it is really great. Everybody knows what they're doing in that movie. Everybody's on point. All the from the guy who's got one line to the guy who's got the big speeches, everybody seems to really click and have something useful to add to the whole process. It's absolutely incredible. And I think I had seen him on MTV because he had his show on MTV, and that's where it was called The Ben Stiller Show, and it was like a sketch comedy show. Very funny. But then, yeah, Reality Bites was the first like cinema thing that I really saw him in. And then what was the one he did with Mary Tyler Moore as his like mom or something? It was oh goodness. I think it was a David O. Russell, one of David O. Russell's first movies. Flirting with Disaster. That's what it is. He did Flirting with Disaster. Great indie film. It's all about him trying to find his biological parents, and he's traveling around with Téa Leoni, who works for a documentary film company that's trying to help reunite him with his family. But they keep screwing up the test results from the adoption agency and going to people that aren't his. So it's really like about how the illusion of family, right, is something we tell ourselves. Family is what you choose it to be, right? So he's got all these hilarious like misfires that it's a really funny Ben Stiller movie. He's not doing anything but acting in it. It's not. David O. Russell wrote and directed it, but a lot of great actors. Mary Tyler, like I said, Mary Tyler Moore is in it. Really, really just some great, I think, improvisational actors who are able to work with David O. Russell's script and craft these very awkward, funny sequences. Téa Leoni, really, really great. Worth the time. If you haven't seen Flirting with Disaster, very, very funny. And Ben Stiller looks like a kid. I mean, he's probably like 25. What is up, Kenneth Bird? Good to see you, my friend. Ben Stiller's show was shot on film, unique for a sketch show. Yeah, and it was MTV, wasn't it, Drew? I think it was on MTV, which made Reality Bites even funnier to me because he basically plays like a semi-unscrupulous MTV exec kind of guy. So very entertaining to me, at least. That side of it was very funny. So there you go. There's some Ben Stiller recommendations. If you're not a fan or you haven't seen much of his stuff, he's a very offbeat, very clever, very unusual voice in film. So yeah, MTV. Okay, good. Worth the time if you haven't had the chance. Let's take a second and dive into what I'm reading. As I mentioned, Wednesday night. JP and I will be talking about Matt Fraction and David Asia. I'm not sure how to say it. And their classic, I guess now, from like early 2000s, 2012. Their classic Hawkeye run. This is when Clint Barton joins forces with Kate Bishop, and you get the dueling Hawkeye storylines. You also get Pizza Dog and, the tracksuit mafia, a lot of that stuff all happening in this one volume. There is a new omnibus out there which has all the same issues. It's 22 issues of the run from start to finish, plus the annual and a Young Avengers Presents issue, all by Fraction and with different artists, but mostly David Asia as the main artist. But a great series. I had a lot of fun revisiting it. I think I had read the whole thing at one point. I thought I had only read half of it, but as I was going towards the end, I was like, nope, I remember this part. I remember that part. So a really great series, and we'll get into all the nitty gritty on a Wednesday nights here soon. This trade was very reasonably priced, $40, which is the MSRP. You could probably find it for deep discount at some point, but a very entertaining read. And like I said, there's a new slim omnibus out there you can snag as well. We got Dan's Comics in the chat. What's going on, Dan? I appreciate you coming by, my friend. Yes, Pizza Dog does rule, and that one episode or issue that's all basically from the dog's perspective with very minimal dialogue, very entertaining, and it fits beautifully the story stylings of Matt Fraction and the art stylings of David Aja. Very entertaining. It's a very comedic book, which I think Marvel on the comics side, there's always a little bit of comedy, but I don't think the books are outright comedies and very often. But this Hawkeye run is very, very funny and very worth the time. Absolutely worth the money. Very entertaining. So we will get into the fun of it. I know that JP really enjoyed it, so it's going to be a lot of a love fest for the series. I highly recommend it, Vic, and you probably can find most of the books for a cheap, reasonable price because none of them are like hot keys or anything like that. Excuse me. Because none of them are keys, easy to hunt down, easy to find. Definitely worth the time for sure. I think that's most everything. So we've got the Hawkeye storyline I'm going to be discussing on Wednesday with my man JP. I'm going to set that aside. I've got Omni X-Men on my channel on Tuesday, and we'll be doing issue 195. And this is the issue with with the classic "Don't Let Wolverine Babysit Your Kids" cover. Whoa. Oh. I'll showcase it here for a quick second. Whoa. This is the issue that we are reading for Tuesday. So if you have issue 195 in your collection, you want to read it and remind yourself why children and Wolverine don't really go together well. There you go. That's on my channel Tuesday night. And I got my man Cliff on Comics joining us for that chat. It should be a whole lot of fun. They definitely went to bed on that. I don't know. It seems like he's definitely got to threaten him to get him to do it. Did I ever get an Omni X-Men issue this time? I think you did, JP. Let's see. Let me double check. I got the whole list here in my phone, so I can double check your exact date. You have, yes, JP. Well, JP, you're not on until the very first week of February. It's the 3rd of February. But JP, I gifted you a request you made 2 years ago that you wanted to do Uncanny X-Men issue 201. And you got it, my guy. You got it. So yes, issue 201 is yours, my dude. I think you got the second pick overall. Ultimately, we gave away the first pick to Bobby DeLaGhetto, I think, and he won that and he took that. But he didn't want issue 201. And I knew you had been asking basically since we started this series to do issue 201. So yes, you better be ready for it. The beginning of February, we will be diving into, oh yes, Cyclops sucks. Although you missed a Tuesday night, there was no Cyclops and no Xavier in the issue. It was one of the best ones to enjoy. You should have come by. No Cyclops and no Xavier. It was a very good issue of X-Men. So yeah, I think he would be cool. My favorite babysitter as a kid were guys. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I think I'm worried that Wolverine's going to be having beer and watching horror movies and threatening kids with claws. That would be the danger. It's a great point. And I'm actually working on a video about this right now. So this is also, if you guys don't know Libro Paradiso, it's also Gore Vidal, who you sometimes see in the chat. He's got a couple of accounts you can follow. But he makes a great point. The video I'm working on is basically the question I ask in it is it fair to judge or blame a character who's had a long history in comics because they've had one or two bad writers in that time who really did long-term lasting harm? So I mean, you could pick any character, and the examples I chose were Hal Jordan and Cyclops. But I mean, there's a lot of great characters to choose from. And I think both Hal and Scott suffer from the same problem, which is the biggest fans of those characters are willing to overlook the bad writers that had them fridging characters or divorcing pregnant women or whatever. And the people who can't stand those characters are the ones that are unwilling to forget the continuity that those moments include. So that's the conundrum here, right? The fans of Hal Jordan are willing to let the whole parallax, he's murdering people, like, storyline, they're willing to forgive it as like it's comics, like it was not the best writing and poor Hal suffered it for it. But then they get to Jeff Johns and he kind of like straightens the ship out for them. But continuity people who don't like Hal Jordan are like, no, I can't forgive him of that. He did these awful things. I'm never going to like this character. He's a scumbag. And that's where they butt heads. And I think it's an interesting discussion. And there's a lot of characters like our guy Hank Pym and his spousal abuse storylines that are very hard to forgive. And the question becomes, is it fair to blame a character for a few bad writers, especially when they've been around in those cases for 60 years or more? Whew, that's the question. So that's the video I will be making to the point of Gore Vidal. I will be working on that video. And I don't know if I'll get it done this weekend, but I'm hopeful that I will. He is misunderstood because some people think he isn't awful. Scott has been written bad for years. The best Cyclops in decades is from X-Men 97, the cartoon. I mean, fair. They don't forgive if they pretend it didn't happen. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing, right? Are the fans of those characters ignoring that those things happened, or are they willing to let it go? Meaning, like, it's just a comic book storyline. It's not defining the character. They can rationalize it, right? In some way, they're rationalizing that storyline, that arc, that writer's journey. And again, I like Hal Jordan as a character. I love the Jeff Johns run, but I understand also that the 90s were not good to him. And there were some really bad storylines in there that made Hal Jordan clearly one of the worst examples of a Green Lantern and brought to prominence guys like Kyle Rayner and guys like John Stewart. So I get it. It's the same with Guy Gardner. I think there are years when Guy Gardner is an example of a great hero and years when he is just an absolute annoying troll that everybody wants to punch in the face. So, I think, again, it's a question of, is it fair to blame those characters? And I would love to hear your guys' comments when I post it, because it will be coming along here soon. That's a whole show topic. It is. And I try to narrow it down to just 2 or 3 examples and focus in on those characters as specifically a part of that discussion. But you can spread this instantly to everywhere. And to Bleeker's point, Hank Pym is a great example that I hadn't really planned on getting into, just because I'm not willing to forgive Hank Pym anything. I mean, as much as I poke fun at Cyclops, Hal Jordan and Hank Pym are way worse. I mean, Scott is a teacher's pet, and Scott is unwilling to question authority, and Scott, as far as like Xavier is concerned, and Scott is not a good husband. But I don't think he's on the same level as Hank Pym and his spousal abuse, or Hal Jordan and him murdering people and putting them in fridges. Like, I don't think those are comparable. But I do get that as a theme, classic characters who've had bad writers, he does apply in the same way. I can argue Cyclops is awful more often than written as an actual good person. Oh, goodness gracious. I'll let you guys roll that. It's Cyclops, the Roman Polanski, Woody Allen of comics. Oh my gosh. I would argue Hal Jordan and Hank Pym might fit into that category faster. But I'm going to instead spin my wheel again while you guys ruminate on that a little bit, because I got to give away a prize for this month. We are officially in November, so we're giving away some gifts for the channel members here, there's a little join button. And now, thank you. YouTube finally figured out how to let Apple users on their iPads or phones join YouTube channels. So there's a little join button, and you can become a channel member if you would like. It helps keep the StreamYard lights on, helps me be able to do giveaways every month. So I appreciate everything. All these people are going way above and beyond to make this channel work, and I'm very, very grateful for them. So I'm going to shuffle this 5 times, and we're going to give away some awesome comics and a trade paperback full. Let's see who wins this month. Oh, X11 Bravo again. He just won 2 months ago. Yes, you guys don't know Elias over at X11 Bravo. He is such an awesome dude. He does so much for our community, specifically for the veterans in our community. He was my very first channel member, and now he's won deservedly twice in this first year. So huge thank you, X11 Bravo. He's going to get some awesome comics that, knowing him, he'll read and then gift back out into the veterans in our community. And then I'll let him and his wife, they'll pull stuff that they want to read from my trade paperback wall over here, because I got so many things. I know I gifted them some great stuff that they enjoyed reading last, was it 2 months? I think he won the August giveaway. JP won September, and now he wins again here in October. So we'll see who wins in November. As a reminder, in November, where did I put it? I am giving away in November an entire set of Spider-Man Life Story. So you can win all the single issues for Spider-Man Life Story. Plus, as always, a dive into the trade paperback, something you want to read. Marvel, DC, Indies. I got everything over. It's getting obscene. In fact, I will show you just a brief glimpse into the corner over there. It is 2 levels deep now. There's a back wall. It goes DC, Indie, Marvel, and then there's now a front section. It's so thick with comics. And admittedly, some of those are mine still, in the sense that I want to read them, but most of them are going to be giveaways. That wall is massive, and there's a ton to give away there. So that's why every month I want to try to clear 2 or 3 of them out, give a little bit of reading material out to the community. So congrats to X11 Bravo. And if you want to be in next month's giveaway, make sure you sign up. No bueno. No bueno. I mean, I think it's pretty awesome. If you're a channel member, it's awesome. So there's a few trades in the front there I'm reading there. Although I mean, obviously some of these I'm not giving away. I got the Usagi compendiums that my daughters didn't want to store in their room anymore, so they're back in here now. I've got to find a new home for some of those. So some of this is actually, I realized, not giveaways, but it's like stuff I'm holding on to for me. What else? But yeah, most of it's giveaways. So yeah, people can win stuff. Life Story is easily one of the best Spider-Man stories of the last decade or so. I'd be willing to say of the 2000s. Since the year 2000, not a ton of Spider-Man stories that I truly love, and that one is one. I think Bendis's Ultimate Spider-Man ran in a little bit in that time as well, so obviously those would fit, but that's about it. Not a lot of competition. Not a lot of Spider-Man quality stories in that era. So yeah, Life Story definitely stands head and shoulders above. But Chip Zdarsky's a talented guy, and I can't remember who was on art for this. Oh, it's Mark Bagley. Mark Bagley, always bringing it, always stepping it up. So I am a hypocrite on this, Drew, and I'm a hypocrite on a lot of things, but on this specifically, I'm a hypocrite because I usually say don't judge things when you haven't read them. This idea is so foul to me. It is so disruptive to my general well-being. The idea that this comic book story would involve removing Peter Parker's consciousness and putting the mind of Doc Ock into the body of Peter Parker. It sounds awful to me. And everybody tells me it's incredible and that I need to read it and that it would be this game-changing thing for me. I have judged it before reading it. I have completely judged it, and I am not ready, and I am not in a psychological space to try and even want to read this. It sounds so atrocious to me. And everybody says, yeah, it sounds awful, but it's actually great. Yeah, it's like somebody reading the menu of at a restaurant, and the item that they're reading sounds so awful, I don't want to order it. And they're like, but it tastes amazing. You should really try it. I'm like, no, no, this sounds horrible. Firstly, I don't like the character of Doc Ock all that much. So to have him like piloting Peter Parker's body for an entire show or a series or whatever sounds awful to me. It sounds atrocious to me. The whole thing. It sounds like bad Scott Snyder comic book writing. It's the absolute Batman of Spider-Man stories. There you go. I poked the trolls a little bit there. So yeah, not high on my list at all. It is a violation of a character that we love. I'm with you, John. It's about Peter Parker eating away at what is broken about Otto. I don't care. I don't care. Maybe one day I will break down and give it a shot, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Not going to be anytime soon. But what is going to be soon is I'm going to be working on Starman by James Robinson. So I will be finishing this up here, hopefully in the coming weeks. And I know that JP and I are trying to pick our next DC omnibus to read. I'm assuming, JP, because you have all these Wonder Woman omnis, that we're going to do a Wonder Woman one. And I'm assuming that it would probably be the second George Perez omnibus. So if you're interested, JP, I think that makes a logical choice for our next omnibus read for something in November. It's also not terribly long, so it's an easier one to maybe get through. I know we're due for a DC pick and we're due for a Wonder Woman pick. So for me, it feels like the logical next choice. We got my man Perry in the chat. What's going on, Perry? Hope the Discord is doing well this morning. Brother John is a Starman fan. Nice. Okay, maybe need to get Brother John in on a show, because I know that I'm going to get a few people together. If I know Cliff on Comics wants to talk about it, so we'll get a few people together for Starman Compendium 1 of 2. There's a second compendium I have as well, so I gotta work my way through this incredible time. He says DC time, and yeah, if we keep putting Lasso off, he might get mad at us. So yeah, let's just loosely plan on George Perez Volume 2 Wonder Woman Omnibus as the November Omni read. So if anybody has these Omnis and they're looking to read it along with us, I think that's the thing we'll do next, now that we're finishing up Hawkeye. That would be next. Howler Mouse loves Starman as well. Okay, nice. See, I had never read it. I'd never heard of the character. I am not a Legion of Superheroes, Justice League International, whatever. I'm not a fan of any of those teams. They're a little too obscure for me, and I never seem to know any of the characters. I never watched the show that had Star Girl, who's the one that takes place after this storyline. I know nothing about any of this stuff. This is all completely alien to me. So in that way, it's nice to be a blank slate going into this. But that's why Cliff wanted me to read it. He's like, how do you not know any of this stuff? And I'm like, well, because Justice League International and Justice Society doesn't interest me. It doesn't, like, the characters. I barely know any of them. That's where I'm at with those. That whole universe feels very whatever. He enjoyed Stargirl. Okay, good. I'm glad somebody did. Good for you. That's right. Congrats. And then what else? Oh, I'll have a lot of unboxings coming up here soon, because as I start to get stuff in from Comics Curing Cancer, I'm sure I'll do unboxings here or there. I got some videos I'm going to be shooting. I took this week off to sort of recover from Comics Curing Cancer, get my brain back in order, plan out my next few weeks. I think what I'm going to do on my channel going forward is have new videos drop Thursday, and then do shorts on other days and live streams on other days. But I'll have a main video that drops every Thursday, and the rest of the week might be mostly shorts. Occasionally I might go back and do Monday and Thursday, like I've been doing for a full year. I had 2 videos a week, and I'll probably do 2 next week, but then going forward, I might do 1 a week. Channel members get early access, because I usually post all that stuff on Sunday, and they can watch it at any point before it actually goes live. But then, yeah, I've been doing a few more shorts, trying to get into a routine of being able to make shorts on fun things that I've been enjoying. So that's my plan going forward. I've caught up on all my DC reading from New Comic Book Day: Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Batman, regular Wonder Woman, Poison Ivy, Birds of Prey, all my ongoing current DC books I'm caught up on. So I'm very happy to say that. I've got to go over to Marvel now, got to catch up on One World Under Doom and some of the other Marvel books that I've been trying to stay current with. But let's be fair, there's not that many left on the list for me anymore. And Rogue Storm wasn't all that good, so not exactly my my jam these days. Not a lot of really talented people over there producing consistently great books. I'm catching up on one of the ones that I am catching up on is Incredible Hulk. That has been very entertaining. So if you're reading Philip Kennedy Johnson's Incredible Hulk, that one is definitely worth the time. So that's one that I'm definitely catching up on. Let's see here. The humor in Justice League International is similar to Fraction's Hawkeye. Oh, interesting. Okay. He's caught up as of October 2022. Yes. Hey, I should still have that emoji that you can drop. The John AF emoji should still work in the chat. So here's the deal, JP. Am I somebody who believes in self-flagellation, self-punishment? Am I a masochist? Yes, absolutely. More importantly, what makes me who I am is I prefer to be somebody who speaks intelligently, well, let's put that in air quotes, about things because I've actually read them. Obviously, a moment ago, I was hypocritical and talking about Superior Spider-Man, but that's really one of the few examples of me talking out of pocket about something I've never read. Most of the time, I want to have read it so that I can speak critically about it. And Absolute Batman's one of them. It is easily the most popular book on the shelves right now. And I would be remiss if I didn't at least, engage with the material in a way that would allow me to speak intelligently about it. Like I'm fully caught up on Batman right now. So I've read all the issues up to now, including the annual that Daniel Warren Johnson did this last week, which was interesting to say the least. What I liked about Daniel Warren Johnson's issue is I think, firstly, he's a way better writer, but secondly, he gets the joke. And I do firmly believe that at its core, Absolute Batman is satire, right? It's comedy. But nobody knows it except Daniel Warren Johnson, apparently, and Nick Dragotta, the artist, because Scott Snyder doesn't know it, and his fans don't know it. They all take it as dramatic, gritty, serious stuff. But I read that book, and it's a comedy to me. It's a satire to me, making fun of Batman almost. So for me, I look at what Daniel Warren Johnson did with that annual, and I think he gets the joke. Daniel Warren Johnson takes it to an extreme that I don't think Scott Snyder is willing to acknowledge, because Scott Snyder still thinks he's doing this deeply heady, emotional thing that I don't think exists. So I will be making a video on that. You can count on it as well. Now that the annual is out there, and there's only 2 issues left in this calendar year, and I want to say something's happening with the Absolute Universe in the 2026. So could be interesting. But I also wanted to be able to compare it to the far superior book, Absolute Wonder Woman, the absolutely best of the absolute books, Absolute Wonder Woman. So I think I'm 2 or 3 issues away from being caught up on Wonder Woman. So I think that's the only one I'm going to finish catching up on this weekend. But other than that, I'm caught up on those 2. And I've scrapped all the other ones. I gave up on all the other ones. It's just those 2. I read enough to know I had no interest. If others like it, good for them. Happy to live in the darkness. And that's me for the most part. But the fact that it's this popular, right? That it's this huge hit. It for me, I felt the need to engage with that discussion and to be involved in it. And I didn't want to speak out of pocket too much. I wanted to be able to catch up to where it's at now. And I did. So that was the main goal for me, reading all those issues. And it didn't change the way I felt at all. In fact, it almost solidified my thinking a little bit, but it gave me more points to speak to, more things to talk about. I will say the later issues are better than the first issues for me, but it's a very slim margin of difference. The annual might be my favorite of all of the issues of Absolute Batman, but I think it's because, again, Daniel Warren Johnson gets the joke, and I don't think Scott Snyder gets his own joke. Something to talk about. Absolute Wonder Woman is great. I do agree. Uh, uh, of course, Gore brings up Saga. He says, "I read it up to issue 60, couldn't stand it. Only time I did something like that, it was like watching reality TV. Finally, couldn't take it, and I stopped reading it." I get it. Brett Hess is in the is in the chat. What's going on, my friend? How are you doing? Happy Saturday to you. I'm live an hour earlier than I usually do because my daughter's just waking up now, going to gear her up for soccer and head to the final game of the club season before her high school season kicks off, because the high school season kicks off here in a couple of weeks, I think. So very exciting there. All right, well, that's it, gang. Congrats to X11 Bravo on his win. Thank you so much to the channel supporters. I will list them right here real quick. Shout out to Pressedcomics Matt for joining the New Comic Book Day Coalition, along with Daymares and Ariel Red. Then I got my X-Men squad. These 8 homies have been holding the house together here, keeping the team up and running. Appreciate all of you. There's a bunch of them here in the chat tonight, this morning. I mean, thank you so much I got Vic in the chat, Old Wolf texting me, JP's in the chat. I thought I saw C Bizzle coming through. And then my New Mutants homies as well. Dio's been in the chat. Perry's been in the chat. Drew's in the chat. Cliff is live right now, so I will be catching the replay with Cliff. Stu was in the chat. Saw Stu this morning. Thank you, folks, for coming by. And hopefully Mr. Gretzky is hanging out with me tonight. He is the newest member of my New Mutant squad. So thank you to all of them. They will all be entered to win next month's life story, Spider-Man Life Story prize at the end of next month. So thank you to all of them. And I'm going to be making my videos and posting them this weekend. So those people will also have the early access, but then the videos should come out Monday and Thursday next week as per normal. Now that I'm kind of back, comics curing cancer is over. I can get things back up and running again. Let's see. High school soccer in winter, California life is good, right? It's definitely true. Although, you know, it'll be cold overnight, and her games are played at like 8 o'clock at night. So we'll probably bundle up a little bit, but it's not snow weather for sure. And yes, as a reminder, tonight I'm going live with the Bearded Comic Bro and Mr. Gretzky. We're going to talk about Robert Redford and Diane Keaton, 2 icons of cinema, absolute beasts in film. And we're going to kind of go decade by decade through their works and really highlight some of our favorites, some of those great films, great performances. So if you're a movie person, tonight around 9 Eastern, you want to hang in the chat, have a drink. We'll do drinks and movies tonight and do another one of our in memoriam videos where we like to hang out live and just talk about those guys. So yeah, tonight you can expect that fun. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate all of you, and we'll catch you guys all again later.